Christian Halas Lister, sir. Good morning. Captain Ladera, Captain Torren, and our esteemed industry leaders here gathered in this conference, and to the organizers, of course, thank you for inviting Marina to share our initiatives and programs in this topic, upskilling and reskilling for our, sabi ni Kapladera, modern day heroes, our very own Filipino seafarers. Um, I think I am underprepared for this, but I hope that I could still share some insights on what Marina or the Maritime Industry Authority is doing in collaboration with our industry partners. The message is clear from the message of the ambassador, the good captains who opened the session, and even from the assistant secretary from the undersecretary from Department of Labor and Employment. The government cannot do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. We can do it only if we go together. So I think that is also the message of this presentation, and I would like to, because I don't have a clicker, make this a bit more conversant than a formal presentation. So the presentation composed of, next slide please, a very simple format about the IMO DHG emission cut milestones, then what is at stake, that's why we are here, the guiding principles on upscaling and reskilling followed by your government authorities, the examples of key initiatives and what we can do to actually help navigate our the path towards decarbonization or towards green shipping. Next slide, please. We know that the global shipping sector is undergoing a transformation, a shift toward decarbonization. You have seen this diagram so many times in so many presentations. I will not go into detail, but this diagram is the one driving the change or the transformation. This is the milestone actually showing the IMO GHG targets, which pressures everyone. It not only shows where we are going, but it's kind of giving us the push that we have to reach that end goal. It was originally a zero goal, right? Then it became near zero, then it changed to net zero. So I think the narrative would be not really zero, but we have to target and you have to keep going on. So this Marino World Manning Expo and Conference is a strategic venue to discuss these things towards green transition and the readiness of our human, we don't call them human capital now, we call them human element, that's the technically correct term, which really is at the heart of the maritime industry. And we in the government take this opportunity because in this occasion, we get to share the ideas and we also get to know what is actually happening outside our offices. So for Marina, this forum is an opportunity to also make you know what we are doing inside the office, in the government. So let's move forward. So what is at stake is the next slide, sir. This shows us the certificated and deployed seafarers on the right side, and on my left side is the overseas Filipino cash remittances in $1,000. Here we can see that there are more than 800,000 seafarers. I'm speaking of the 2024 data, certificated. That means they are hoping to get deployed and of course to earn honest living, to support their family and their community. So out of more than 800,000 seafarers certificated, more than 480 were actually deployed last year, who do not only earn a living for themselves or for their family, but also contributing to the social development and of course the economic stability of our country. So, how much contribution to our Filipino seafarers in terms of remittance and in US dollars at that, which inflows to the national economy? I put that in color green, but in a presentation that might not be helpful, right? Medyo mahirap makita sa likod. But the figure in the 2024 is 6,941,085. That is in US dollars, which in foreign currency exchange converted to Philippine peso, that's more than 400 billion pesos. Next slide, please. That is at stake if we do not move our human element into being upskilled and reskilled in managing these emerging fuel technologies. So, I would like to share to you that the Maritime Industry Authority is following these guiding principles that the presenters before me actually have already said this, but this is part of the presentation. I think as a guiding principle, this is really the core narrative of what we are doing now. So first is that no seafarer is left behind. That means an equitable access to training and retooling, whether experienced seafarers, and it has been emphasized, most especially those who are coming to the industry, those who are at the educational and training institutions. Then, it was also shared, so I'm kind of repeating here, regulatory and curriculum alignment. We integrate decarbonization concepts into STCW accredited training framework and to our certification system at the earliest possible time. Number 3, this basic, I would like to thank the ambassador for emphasizing this very important principle. Industry partnership and collaboration. We work with ship owners, technology providers, training centers, even our foreign partners to co-design, training, and provide familiarization to our seafarers. But number 4 is also very important, that we do not just imagine things and then we put them into a mandatory framework for everyone to follow. No, it should be a data-driven planning. We use workforce analytics to forecast demand, identify the skills gap, and then from there monitor our progress towards the 2050 goal. Also, the MARINA is following the implementation of Republic Act number 12021 on the ladderized education, and from the MIDP, the flexibility and modularity, which allows stackable credentials to respond to incremental adoption of green technologies. It should not be wholesale one-time training and that's all, because that's not how to earn the competence towards managing this very critical and very, in a layman's term, very dangerous fuels. And number 6 is sustainability and continuity, ensuring programs are not one-off but part of a sustained ecosystem of lifelong learning. These guiding principles are not written in any formal document, but as you can see on the left part, I allude to the existing Maritime Industry Development Plan as a reference for this presentation. So, what is MARINA doing to really help our Filipino seafarers? So, I'm gonna give some examples. Next slide, please. And let's immerse into MARINA's key initiatives. The original one is the MARINA and the Green Marine Copenhagen formalized a memorandum of understanding as early as April 2024. Our MOU with the Green Marine is a comprehensive framework for collaboration aimed at promoting sustainable practices, enhancing regulatory frameworks, and fostering the adoption of innovative technologies in maritime operations across the Philippines. Under the Memorandum of Understanding, MARINA and Green Marine will collaborate in several areas including the shared objectives of enhancing regulatory framework, adopting innovative technologies and best practices, developing training programs, and identifying and advancing sustainable maritime solutions. So from that memorandum of understanding, there was actually an industry consultation and a sort of a bigger scale than this conference. The next slide would show that the MARINA, through the STCW office and in partnership with Green Marine, hosted a symposium on decarbonization. And this was held in Midas. I think many of you, if not most, have attended. It's called Charting the Course, Empowering Seafarers for a Decarbonized Shipping Future, that was held in March this year. In the symposium, there were technical and human element presentations where our stakeholders with the knowledge about these upcoming technologies shared the necessary information for us to discuss strategies, best practices, and strengthen collaboration towards sustainable maritime sector. Then, to keep the momentum going, next slide, the MARINA, and Maersk signed a memorandum of understanding also March of 2025 to advance sustainable practices. This includes environmental stewardship and to accelerate the energy transition in the maritime sector in the Philippines. Under that MOU, MARINA and Maersk will collaborate on a number of areas including knowledge exchange through shipboard familiarization programs, skills development and training for Filipino seafarers, and also the partnership includes ship visits and on knowledge sharing activities, technical workshops, and expert consultations, along with efforts for enhanced legal and local regulatory frameworks. Okay, and from that, we have actually deployed technical personnel of MARINA on board. I don't know if this is the right pronunciation for this, and Maersk. In the third week of July this year, they conducted observation on board, hands-on with ship operations, as well as interview with the ship officers and ship crew, together with ship familiarization for vessels, for that vessel using lower GHG emission fuels. It's not yet the, they are using like combined technology or combined fuels, mixed fuels. So, in a proactive move towards making our international obligation, next slide please, in addressing environmental concerns, the MARINA designed a special training of trainers for IGF. So far, the current regulatory or mandatory training standard is on LNG. And although the guidelines on low plus point fuels has been there for some time, there is no mandatory or table of competence for this kind of fuel. So, in a proactive stance, the MARINA partnered with PhilCamSat to design a specialized training of trainers for IGF course. And that was actually held as early as February last year, because the challenge is not only training seafarers, but those who will be teaching the seafarers to be trained. So that was the part of the government. And this initiative, as I said, is a collaboration between MARINA, the STCW office, PhilCamSat, and Kongsberg, which aligns with our commitment to comply with international conventions, particularly the 2023 IMO GHG, or the calibrated strategy on reduction of GHG emission from ships. What I will share to you is a new information. You might have not seen this before. This is part of one of the key initiatives of MARINA, and Marino World will be the first one to have this information in this conference. Thank you for inviting us. Next slide, please. At the national level discussion for the development of, or for our move towards decarbonization, the Philippines is actually establishing a national framework for just transition. We also ensured that, as you can see in the encircled with red, we also ensure that sea-based workers are considered to benefit from a safe, healthy, and decent work, protected from loss of employment, and provided with support like upskilling and reskilling. BTOPS is moving slowly, but we are talking. That's the good thing to share. And next, in the multi-stakeholder consultation for the government, next slide please. During the national workshop, it was also made clear that you can see it there. And the other one, the lead on the right side, it was made clear that seafarers in the shipping industry are affected by the international implementation of decarbonization. But on a positive note, the shift towards a more sustainable shipping also bring green opportunities. That was highlighted by Captain Tomran. These risks are coming with opportunities. And that opportunity is, of course, to reskill and upskill our seafarers. Finally, to move towards that national framework, the MARINA is actively participating on the next slide as one of the key partners of the national lead for just transition, which is the DENR and our Department of Energy. And by actively involving in just transition discussions, we are able to provide sector-specific inputs for the formulation of national policies and plans, including programs aimed at ensuring achieving our nationally determined contributions towards the reduction of GHG emission, while we also reduce if we do not eliminate the adverse impact to our seafarers. But of course, not only to seafarers, but all affected workers. So the output of this talk, we actually had a national consultation, which we thank the Philippine Transparent Carriers for hosting that event. Is a next slide. Proposed executive order on establishing a National Maritime Skills Council for just transition in the maritime sector. There should be a council looking after the benefit and welfare of all affected workers, especially in our sector, which brings so much contribution to the national economy. Next slide, sir. MARINA stands ready to lead and to serve, but also to emphasize the key message in this conference, to collaborate with all of you. With that, thank you po and good morning to everyone.